During the Great Depression, feminists redirected their considerable skills to helping to create social programs and policies that would alleviate the hardships brought by massive unemployment and low wages. There was less academic theorizing and more applied work. It is during this time that the groundwork was laid for the beginnings of the Swedish welfare state with its population policies and the United States Social Security Act. And in both countries, feminist sociologies developed during the previous decades played an important role. With the conclusion of the Second World War, feminism in the West appeared to be dead. Most European countries had granted suffrage to women in the interwar years, with the exception of Australia, New Zealand, Finland, and Norway, where women achieved the vote before 1914, and France, Belgium, Italy, Romania, and Yugoslavia, where women had to wait until after the war, and in the case of Switzerland, not until 1971, and Liechtenstein, 1984. During and after the war, more pressing issues had taken center stage. In the countries immediately affected by warfare, rebuilding the country's infrastructure and populations were a vital concern. And in those spared war damage, the focus of most women was on family. The baby boom was in full swing in Western countries, ushering in the housewife epoch, with its ideological emphasis on women's role as wife and mother, whether or not women were actually in the labor force. In those countries more heavily affected by the war, women's roles were more complex, with the public sentiment of a need to return to normalcy and the ideal of the stay-at-home mother and wife, but complicated by a shortage of male workers in countries desperately in need of reconstruction. During this period, Parsianen functionalism held sway in U.S. universities and to a lesser extent in Europe. But whether functionalist or not, the dominant way of thinking about gender in post-war sociology was guided by the sex roles paradigm. That did not mean, however, that women had ceased being active in the labor force or that feminist academic work had come to a standstill. The Swedish sociologist Alva Myrdal, who had been instrumental in crafting Sweden's response to its population decline during the Great Depression of the 1930s, paid particular attention toward facilitating women's combined roles as mother and worker, working in collaboration with the German sociologist Viola Klein in their book Women's Two Roles. In the United States, Russian Jewish immigrant Mirra Komarovsky battled the Parsianen hegemony, investigating the influence of gender expectations on middle-class women and blue-collar men. In France, Simone de Beauvoir published The Second Sex in 1949, setting out an existentialist perspective on women. One is not born a woman, one becomes a woman. Although primarily a philosophical text, sociologists found her notion of woman as the other enormously useful in adding depth and texture to their analyses, and providing a starting point for other feminists by suggesting feminism's two primary goals. 1. Women need to act as authentic subjects, choosing their own histories, and 2. Society must be changed to make this possible.